Massachusetts Beer Reviews back. Happy Friday, everybody. This is Ryan. Say hello, Ryan.
Hey.
Promised we were going to do on Facebook, I showed you, and I promised we were going to do Massachusetts beer, a microbrewed beer out of Westport, Mass. This is from the people at Buzzards Bay Brewing in Westport, Mass. This is called their, I don't know if you can see it there, Swamp Yankee, a dark hoppy ale, and apparently a very pissed off northerner. If we go to the Beer Advocate, not the Beer Advocate, this is not on Beer Advocate yet. I may have to be the first one to add it. But if I go to Buzzards Bay Brewing, buzzardsbaybrew.com, I'll post that in the description. They have a description of the Swamp Yankee beer. It says, Swamp Yankee India-style dark ale. A dark ale with bitterness that goes to its soul. Your attitude might be adjusted. Well, we're going to find out about that. There is no information, since it's not on Beer Advocate either, there is no information as to the alcohol percentage by volume on this beer. Now, this beer is from a place called Buzzards Bay Brewing, and you may be wondering, right? You may be wondering, what in the heck is Buzzards Bay? Well, let me tell you. If I go on the Wikipedia page of Buzzards Bay, Buzzards Bay is around the Cape Cod area. It's in the southeastern part of the state by Cape Cod. It is surrounded by what's called the Elizabeth Islands, which are around Martha's Vineyard on the south, Cape Cod to the east. So it's above those islands and it's east of Cape Cod. You're not quite into Cape Cod yet, but you're in that general vicinity in that area. It's historic for being a whaling port of New Bedford, Mass, and the surrounding areas. That is its claim to fame, folks. So without further ado and talking, let's crack open a very pissed off Swamp Yankee Ale. Big bomber. This one is 0.6 fluid ounces, bottled on 2013 September. I am going to be using my official Buzzards Bay Brewing shaker pint glass. It says fresh brewed. I don't know if you can see that. Fresh Buzzard. And Ryan, hold up yours for the camera. You're going to be using this Newport Storm style Belgian tulip kind of glass, and they are from Newport, Rhode Island. Let's get a beer cracking, folks. I've had this one before. Thought it was amazing. See what it's like again. Let me pour a little bit here.
That looks delicious, Eric.
It's pretty good. You want me to help you out here?
Yes, please.
Now we're going to use the two different styles of glassware just to see if it does anything different to the brew. I don't know if it will or if it won't, but we're going to have to find out. Alright, let's hold up our beers here. So, as you can see on my glass, I don't know if I poured it more aggressively than yours, but it's got a very 3 fingers of pretty aggressively creamy beige khaki colored head. What do you get out of your appearance there?
Oh, just a nice little layer of froth going on.
Now, how about the body of the beer? It's not as dark as when it poured. If I sort of hold it up to the light a little bit, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, it's got a lot of this red mahogany tint to it in my glass. I don't know if you get that out of yours.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of red in it. A lot of red. It's dark beer. Now let's get a smell. Let's do a smell test on that. Yeah, you get a lot of that East Coast style floral sort of a hoppy smell, an earthy hop smell. You get a little bit of caramel, not caramel malt. It's like a chocolate. There's a little bit of a chocolate there. There's a little bit. There's like a
Yeah.
fresh roast coffee with that florally hop sort of a aroma. It's a very light aroma, but it's overall just a hoppy malty coffee. Now let's without further ado, let's try some Yankee
Cheers.
Swamp Ale. Cheers, everybody. Delicious. That is good. If you like your beers a little bit hoppier, you're gonna love this beer. It's not overly hoppy. The first thing that you can detect, I don't know if you get this, but the first thing you can detect is a big hop presence. A very florally type East Coast hop. I don't know what they use for hops, but it's that East Coast florally hop thing that you get with a lot of beers in this part of the country. Do you get anything else besides that hop bitter presence there?
Yeah. No, just what you were saying earlier about sort of the coffee.
It follows the nose really well, the aroma.
Right.
It has there's like a roasted coffee. The coffee is actually a very light aspect to the beer, I think. Yeah, the coffee is very light. You do get that chocolatey taste, and maybe that's from like a chocolate malt. I'm not, like I say, I'm not very sure what exactly the ingredients go into the malts, into the hops, but it's a very, it's a light chocolate, a light coffee, but it's got that East Coast kind of a earthy, that earthy, floral kind of a taste. A little bit of a pine in the bitterness. Let's go. Let's describe the mouth feel of the beer. It starts out very thin and watery, and then I think as you digest the sip a little bit, it seems like it's a more in the medium bodied spot.
Yeah.
The bitterness, I think for some people is going to throw it off as being a pleasant mouthfeel. I think for some, I don't know. I know that you don't drink really intensely bitter beers like this usually, so I don't know if you have much of a basis for comparison on that.
Yeah.
Actually, especially in my glass, if you look at it, I don't think you can see it. There's a lot of late creamy lacing, and there's like a little mound or like a dollop of the creamy, very creamy head. There's a good amount of lacing as you can see there. It's an amazing looking beer. But what else do you get? What's your opinion?
It is very hoppy, somewhat bitter, but it has that quality aged feel that a good beer, good IPA should have.
True to standard on some of these IPAs, the finish of this beer is actually very dry. You drink the beer,
Yeah.
you swallow the beer, and it dries out the palate fairly quickly to a point where, not to a point where you get like that sort of that cotton mouth kind of a feel, but it's enough of a, and I think seeing how Ryan's drinking it right now, I think it's enough of a point where it makes you slightly salivate and want a little bit more of the beer.
Right. Right. I can't put it down. It's just
So we're gonna try this where we're gonna go off camera for a little bit, take care of some business, and then come back and see if the beer has done any changing while warmed up a little bit. Stay tuned for part. All right, what's happening, people? We're back for the second half of our beer review and our final thoughts, reviews, and grades on the beer. This is warm. I don't know. It's maybe been a couple of minutes, not even. And this beer, I think, has changed for the better, a little bit warmer. It's not too warm, but it's changed a little bit. I think you get a bigger chocolate note as it warms. It's smoother. It's a little lighter to drink. I actually think that once some of that chocolate and some of that roasted coffee comes in a little bit more now, that actually the bitter hoppy flavor is actually diminished somewhat, and it creates more like a darker, more like a traditional darker porter with a little bit of a hop presence and not so forward on the hops like it was initially. I don't know what you have a thought on that. If you have a thought on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no beer connoisseur here, but it tastes smoother.
It's mellowed, right?
It's mellowed a little bit, but delicious beer all around. Cheers.
All right. All right, let's give it another taste, and we'll get right on to the rating and tell you if you should get this beer if you're in our area. A, B, C, D, F. What are your thoughts? Where would you grade this? And would you say it's above average, average, excellent, world class? How would you go with both of those style ratings?
I would have to say initially my thoughts would be it's definitely above average.
You have a letter grading, like in school?
Grading. No.
You're just gonna go with like a C plus if you say like above average, B minus.
Oh no, definitely in the B range.
Between a B and a B plus.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not too bad. I think I'm gonna go with the B plus on that. I think it's exceptional. I think this is a kind of a beer. I think this is a kind of a bomber of a beer where you open it and you let it sit for a little bit. And I think if you want a little bit more of a mellow taste from the hops, not that it's mellowed all the way out, but if you want more of a mellow taste, more of a coffee and a chocolate like a porter will have, but have that nice backbone of the hops, then definitely open this and let it warm. But if you like a hoppier beer, drink it straight cold from the fridge. So average of the beer for the night is B plus overall. It is an exceptional beer. And we're going to end this review by saying you keep tasting those great beers. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for having me here tonight.
Excellent. Not a problem.